Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for tuning in. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and don't forget to leave a comment and watch all of my other videos because they are all good tools for learning. So today we are going to be talking about how the court determines child support. So I saw this like meme or like this post on social media, and it read, if you need child support, why not give custody to the father since he doesn't need help? Y'all ain't ready for this convo though. Then under that, it was a post, someone commented and said, just ask for joint custody. You won't have to pay a dime of child support. You just have to prove that you have your daughter as much as the mother does. So when I saw this, I thought this would be a great topic to talk about because clearly a lot of people are unaware of how child support is awarded in the courts. Having joint custody is not going to stop one parent from having to pay child support. That's just not how the court determines it. So we're going to go and get into this topic because it is extremely important for you guys to understand, because a lot of people think, oh, they just award child support to the mother, and if the father has the child, then he won't be awarded child support, and that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. So let's talk about it. First of all, when determining custody of between the mother and the father, the courts are always going to go with what's in the best interest of the child. Now, the best interest of the child is not always just the mother. Sometimes it could be the father. So they're going to follow this best interest of the child for their standard in fashioning a custody and visitation schedule. So generally, courts consider when they consider the wishes of the parents. So both parents, first of all, would have to agree to wanting to do joint custody. They're going to consider the wishes of the child. And this is more of the older children. So if a child is usually 12 years or older, they will consider what the child wants. Now, just because they consider what the child wants does not mean they're just going to grant exactly what the child wants. So keep that in mind. And then whatever the relationship the child has with each of the parents, they're going to factor that into how they make their decision. So if the child seems to have a closer relationship with their mother than the father, that is going to play a part in how the court makes that determination. They are also going to look at the child's adjustment to home, school, and community. So how is the child when they're at home with one parent versus the other? How is the child when they're at school in that same community with one or the other parent? All of that is going to be taken into consideration. And then also the mental and physical health of all the parties involved. So that includes the parents and the children, not just one or the other. All of that comes into play. So if a court finds that a mother is unfit, then they're going to award custody to the father. So that definitely plays a part in it as well. So the courts are going to also take into consideration the parent's ability to communicate and cooperate. So the parents are going to have to be able to speak to each other and have a good relationship when the courts are looking at determining this custody award to which parent. They're going to be looking at how are the parents able to be amicable with each other? And then they're going to look at just the well-being of the children all together. The level of involvement of each parent is also going to come into consideration. So which parent is more involved in the children's lives? If one parent is living in California and the other parent is living in New York, of course, joint custody is not going to be awarded, because that would be impossible. So their geographic locations and proximity of the parents' homes are going to be taken into consideration. Now, if you live on the same street or around the corner, that's more reasonable in granting joint custody. And then they're going to look at like the child's psychological development. How is the child developing versus being with one parent over the other one? All of that is important, and the courts take into consideration when they are determining custody. They're going to look at who's been the primary caregiver this entire time. The child is 8 years old and the child has been with the mother the entire time, and then on the 8th birthday the dad shows up and say, oh, I want full custody. Yeah, the courts are not going to just say, okay, you can go with your dad now. It doesn't typically work like that. Who has been the primary parent? All of that is important, and the courts are going to look at everything in total and whole. Now, once the courts determine who's going to have primary custody or joint custody, or however they make that determination, they're then going to look at how payments will be awarded. Now, even if they say, okay, we're going to grant joint custody, it's not going to be that, oh, no one just pays child support. It can still be that one parent has to pay child support, because the court is going to make it to where the child has the same living situation in both homes. They're not going to go to their dad's house and he's living in a mansion and then go to their mom's 1-bedroom apartment. The court wants the child to be able to have the same living conditions in both homes. So that's why, even if there is joint custody granted, there's not going to be a say of, oh, well, you don't have to pay child support because you have the child just as much. That's not typically how it goes. So they're going to look at the ability of the spouses. How can they pay? And so if the mother is making the same amount as the father, then that will be a situation, an ideal situation, to where neither parent will have to pay child support if they were granted joint custody, if they're making the same. But if one is making more than the other, the person who is making more typically is going to pay child support if that other parent has been granted joint custody. Okay, so then they're gonna, look at other things in calculation. If there are other children involved, if this person is paying one of the spouses who have been asked to pay for child support, do they have other children, or are they paying child support for those children? The court is going to take that into consideration as well before they just award how much they award. So they're going to look at that. And then, they're going to look at the incomes, both parents, how they sometimes they will deviate from just standard guidelines, and it's very circumstantial based. It's not just a one size fits all type thing. So if you have these celebrities to where one celebrity is just out here and they're making all this money, and you hear, oh, they've been awarded all this money in child support, and people don't understand, you don't need this much money to take care of a child. And that may be true. However, if this celebrity is living a lavish life, the the court wants that child to be able to be accustomed to those same exact things. And it's not fair for a child to go and live with their dad or go to their dad's house for the weekend and they have all this nice stuff, and then when they go to their mom's house they don't have those same things. So all of those things are going to be taken into consideration, just the lifestyles, the income that the parents are bringing. And this is how courts make the decision. It's not just who has the child most. Oh, if I get joint custody, I don't have to pay child support. That is not how it goes. So if you guys are dating and you are looking to have children with someone, you definitely want to think about these things. Maybe date people that's on your same level, or try not to date down, because if you date down and it does not work out and there's children involved, you will be responsible for paying child support. So those are definitely things to consider. Hopefully you guys understood exactly what I'm saying. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in a comment box and I will be responding to them. And we're going to keep going on and talking about more things in the law, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned and watch out for my next video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.